Okay, I'm at 784 Farnham Court, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, basically anything that would be of concern to the buyer. Clean out is in the very front of the basement floor in the bathroom. You can see at the very top of this clean out, obviously no water goes through this area, but there is a hole in the side of the riser for the cast iron, and so you can see that there's that the cast iron is rotted through up here at the top, but that doesn't affect the flow at all. But we get to the bottom. This actually has a sweep, so we're only able to go out downstream. And so this is cast iron on the inside, which cast iron is pretty normal material for this age of house, but it does also come with normal issues. It does rust, obviously, because of the material, and it also has, because of the rust, it has rough edges to the pipe, and so it's a lot more likely to have soft clogs, which is like excessive toilet paper. Wet wipes are a big issue because they stick to the pipe just because of how rough the edges of the pipe are. But in most cases, it's just something to be aware of, so you're not flushing stuff down the line that you shouldn't. And then once it exits the house there, you can see it switches over almost immediately to concrete, which is a good material. It's not real common, but I know this neighborhood, most of the stuff is concrete pipe. Concrete does a really good job of keeping roots out compared to clay, which would have been the other option at the time. But you can kind of see the exposed aggregate or the rocks from the flow line from the years of the water flowing through the concrete. But and hopefully we'll be able to get all the way out to the main, and we'll be able to rinse off and see a little bit clearer on the way back. So far, a little tiny offset there, but nothing real concerning. Thing with the concrete is that you'll have where they did the packing. A lot of times you'll see this like calcite or where the packing they put in kind of squeeze through the joints. It is pretty common to see on the concrete lines, but so far the line looks pretty good structurally. Just have a little bit of lips on some of the connections, but overall the line is wide open. A little bit of a belly here. Could be that I'm out next to the main. It's kind of hard to tell. It's not a whole lot of water there, and that's what it is. And so we've made it all the way to the main. And so there's an offset, a small offset here, 71. From about 65 to 71 feet. Right at the tap. Now this is off the property, so this would be within 5 feet of the main, or 6 feet of the main, which would be the responsibility of the Metropolitan Sewer District. So It will be marked on the report, but if this ever does cause any kind of issue, right now it's just a belly and it's just holding water. There's not a whole lot of solids in that area, so it's not anything, you know, it doesn't look like anything is causing any issues. But the line in this area, you can see, so from about 65 to 79 feet is what I was getting at. Is the line has dropped a little bit, but because it's within 10 feet, 15 feet of the main, it's in the street, that this would be the responsibility of the sewer district to fix if it ever causes any kind of issue. I didn't see any kind of obstruction to flow. You can see actually down the pipe enough to where it, you know, there's no major blockage. The water is not the full height of the pipe. It's probably roughly an inch to an inch and a half of water, maybe 2 at the most. But nothing catastrophic. And pretty much the rest of the line looks really good. You can see a little bit of lippage there at the connections is pretty common. Especially as they turn it down, you can see we have a 6 degree pitch there in the bottom left hand corner. It kind of shows how the camera's laying. So we do have a pretty good deal of drop, and that's where they're turning the pipe down. You go from a 2 degree to a 6 degree, and that's where that little lip shows up. But it's not an issue. Trying to make sure we rinse the camera off to be able to see clearly. See, that's what I was talking about with the connection. You get some calcite buildup right there on the corners, but there's no tree or anything out there, so there's no root intrusion. Getting close to coming back in the cast iron there. And here we are, you can see kind of build up and stuff of this cast iron where it makes the transition. Cast iron is just a black goo. And that's where you have there we go. And so we're unable to inspect backwards from this point, but you can see the buildup of the cast iron, the rust that I've knocked loose, not obstructing flow. And the cast iron at this point was open, so back into the drum there, and so the line looked good structurally. The only thing of note is from about 65 feet out to about 71 feet, there is a belly, but that is off the property. That is the last 5 feet before it hits the tap on the main. So if that ever does get worse or causes any kinds of backup or anything, that would be the responsibility of the sewer district to repair. But as of right now, the line is open and flowing. And like I said, we were unable to inspect the interior cast iron all the way just due to the lack of access. It pushes me out towards the front, so we're only able to inspect the exterior line. But seems to be everything is flowing from inside, and the fixtures will be tested. So basically, the line looks open and functional. Just need to keep an eye on that spot out there in the main, and call the Metropolitan Sewer District if that ever becomes an issue. So that will end the inspection at 784 Farnham Court in Cincinnati, Ohio.